This is Placate with Classic Offensive News. It is March 16th, 2025. The news is the same as always with Classic Offensive. You can watch the last video. There's no Steam release in sight. Valve is probably not giving the project a second green light. The team is currently auditing their build to make sure that they're in alignment with the Steam subscriber agreement and Valve's guidelines in order to have a smooth launch on their own website. Okay, now that we're past that, CS Legacy is coming out. It's just interesting what's going on these days with modding. These kinds of projects weren't coming out left and right, like right before I started making these videos. It's kind of crazy. This is a recreation of CS 1.6 in the Source 2013 SDK, so therefore it probably will release to Steam. Because at this point, if you're unaware, Valve has this weird thing where they only seem to want to release games to Steam if they're using an official SDK. Classic Offensive is not using an official SDK. They're just modding and adding to the base files of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This is really interesting because I'm curious to see, like, this is a mod that will 100% be doing everything by the book. Like, there's nothing that Valve can come out and say, hey, this is not getting onto Steam for XYZ reason. I don't know. This is the test, right? They're trying to release Classic Offensive, and that mod did everything by the book aside from an official Valve SDK. And now Valve is probably salty at the fact that the team was about to release their mod, or game really, with Counter-Strike Go core files instead of getting the user to download those files from Valve directly. And now we have CS Legacy, which I'm curious, will this mod be able to get onto Steam doing literally everything that Valve wants? Curious. Or will they find some BS excuse to try to not get it onto Steam because it's not worth their time or something like that, and CS2 is making a ton of money? Or, you know, they might be paranoid about people jumping to this game, even though this game will probably not cannibalize the CS2 player base. So, I don't know, it's just curious. The trailer's out in the background right now. I'm not going to show all of it. Go watch it yourself. It's in the description and pinned. But yeah, it's really interesting. The thing I do want to bring up is the fact that there are too many people saying, I don't care about this. Classic Offensive is going to come out and Classic Offensive is better anyway. Don't be angry at these projects for getting onto Steam. I get it, right? Like, point your anger at Valve, but don't, like, get angry at the project itself. Like, it's cool that they're getting on Steam. It's not even like the same as Classic Offensive. They can coexist. They're like two flavors of ice cream. You've got the Rolo ice cream, you've got the chocolate ice cream. Some people like both. A lot of people will only like one or the other. Classic Offensive is a combination of the best elements of all the old Counter-Strike games mushed together in a coherent package with a new coat of paint. CS Legacy is a remake of 1.6 in the Source 2013 SDK. These projects can coexist. They're quite different. Classic Offensive will probably have more extensive modding support. It'll have Global Offensive Workshop support. It'll have a lot more community-related things. It has Danger Zone. Whereas CS Legacy will probably more so focus on the 5v5 experience. That's fine. These projects can coexist. You might say, oh, well, Classic Offensive also has the 5v5 experience. Yeah, but they're going to feel different, no? From what I understand, Classic Offensive's movement is Go, but with a hint of CS 1.6 sprinkled in. Whereas CS Legacy's movement is just gonna try to recreate 1.6, no? So yeah, these two projects can exist together side by side. They're different. They're different enough to where that's fine. The question I think we should be taking out of this is, will Valve try to find some way to not allow this game onto Steam? They should be allowed onto Steam, based on the fact that they're following literally all the rules at this point. Unless Valve goes and plays the cat and mouse game and changes another thing again about how mods need to release, they should be fine. So I don't know, that's what I'm curious to see. Anyway, this has been Classic Offensive News for March 16th, 2025.